Although human life began to form millions of years ago, the earliest signs of human civilizations appeared fairly recently in the human timeline. These early settlements soon gave rise to massive cities, and the idea of separate countries and nations followed. Some of the earliest countries formed not long after civilization developed, and all of the countries on this list were formed thousands of years ago. So in this video, we will discuss top 10 oldest countries in the world that you should visit. Let's start. Number 10. San Marino. While many other countries have long histories, San Marino is often cited as the oldest city in the world, as the country has been an uninterrupted sovereign state. The country was officially founded on September 3, 301 CE, when Saint Marinus built a church on Monte Tectano. This little church grew into the city of San Marino, the capital of the small country. San Marino is one of the smallest countries in the world and is part of the Italian peninsula. The country is very prosperous and its economy mainly relies on finance, tourism, services, and industry. San Marino has one of Europe's lowest unemployment rates, no national debt, and a budget surplus. Number 9. Iran. Ancient Iran, which was known as Persia in the Western world until 1935, was founded around 550 BCE under the Achaemenid Empire. Prior to the rise of the Persian Empire, several groups of people lived in the area that would later become Iran. This included the Elamites, who were a pre-Iranian civilization that settled in the far west and southwest region of modern-day Iran, and the Medes, who had control of most of Iran until the Persians stepped in. The Achaemenid Empire ruled Iran until Alexander the Great conquered the Persian Empire in 330 BCE. Modern-day Iran was founded in 1979 after the Iranian Revolution ended the monarchy, and an Islamic Republic was established. Number 8. Japan. Japan often cites 660 BCE as the date of the country's founding, as this was when the first emperor of Japan, Emperor Jimmu, ascended the throne and began Japan's imperial dynasty. While historians can't be sure whether or not these early emperors really existed, they do know that the people began arriving in Japan from Asian mainland around 13,000 BCE, and the earliest recorded history of Japan occurred during the Kofun period. Although Emperor Jimmu's story is most likely a myth, Japan celebrates its National Foundation Day on February 11th as a tribute to Emperor Jimmu's ascension in 660 BCE. Number 7. Greece. The Archaic period of Greece is one of the country's most prominent time periods, as it laid the foundations for Greece's classical period, which is known for establishing the foundations of modern Western civilization. This period in Greece's history started sometime around 800 BCE, after Greeks began to emerge from the Dark Ages. During the Archaic period, the Greeks made advances in art, poetry, and technology, but the most important thing to be invented during this time period was the polis, or city-state. Ancient Greece was followed by Roman Greece, Byzantine Greece, and Ottoman Greece, with the modern Greece period starting in 1821 after the Greek Revolution. Number 6. Ethiopia. Human life has been around in Ethiopia for millions of years, as skeletal fragments belonging to Australopithecus afarensis, an ape-like creature that may have been the ancestor of modern humans, which were found in the area, are thought to be about 3.4 million, 2.9 million years old. As life flourished in Ethiopia, complex societies began to develop and one of the first kingdoms established. The people of this kingdom developed irrigation schemes, used plows, grew millet, and made iron tools and weapons. This kingdom was followed by the Zagwe dynasty and the Solomonic dynasty after that. Ethiopia would continue to be ruled by a monarchy until 1974. Number 5. Georgia. Georgia traces its history to the legendary Kingdom of Colchis and the Kingdom of Iberia. Both kingdoms were important during the Bronze Age of Eurasia, around 1500 BCE. The Kingdom of Colchis was often mentioned in Greek mythology, particularly in the tale of the Golden Fleece and Jason and the Argonauts. While these stories may just be legends, powerful tribes did set up small states in Georgia, as far back as the 12th century BCE. Following a brief Roman conquest around 66 BCE, Rome and the Iranian states fought over Georgia for more than 700 years. Georgia also fell to early Muslim conquests in the 7th century CE. The country was subsequently ruled by the Persians and Russia. After a brief period of independence from the Russian Empire, Georgia became part of the Soviet Union. Georgia finally gained its true independence in 1991. Number 4. China. In ancient times, China was named according to the names of its rulers and emperors: Jin, Yuan, Ming, and Qing. Beijing was the most important state center and retained this status even after the formation of New China. It was in the vicinity of Beijing that the remains of the Sinanthropus were found. Sinanthropus was the so-called Peking man, whose age dates back to about 600,000 years. The written evidence of Chinese civilization indicates 3,600 years. At that time, there was already a management system in China. Thanks to an active military policy, the territory of the state expanded significantly. Besides, China had a professional army that used bronze weapons and war chariots. Number 3. Afghanistan. The Indus Valley Civilization is believed to have had a colony in Afghanistan. As early as 3000 BCE, they established one of the world's first cities, Mundigak, near modern-day Kandahar. Archaeologists have also found evidence of smaller Indus Valley Civilization colonies in other parts of Afghanistan. Over time, waves of semi-nomadic people from Central Asia settled in Afghanistan and brought their culture with them. The country was even influenced by the British for a while. In 1973, Afghanistan became a unitary presidential Islamic republic. Number 2. India. People have been living in the region in the Indian subcontinent since around 3300 BCE, starting with the Indus Valley Civilization. The Vedic civilization laid the foundation of Hinduism, as well as several cultural aspects of the Indian subcontinent that still exist today. The end of the Vedic period led to the rise of Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism in India, and the beginning of the powerful dynasties that would rule India for the next 3 millennia. Modern-day India was founded in 1947, after the country gained its independence from the British Empire. Number 1. Egypt. Although ancient Egyptian civilization can trace its roots back to around 6000 BCE, when various groups of hunter-gatherers settled in the Nile River Valley. Around this time period, Upper and Lower Egypt were unified into a single kingdom by King Menes. Menes is actually the Egyptian word for founder, and many historians believe that founder of Egypt was a ruler named Narmer. This makes Egypt the oldest country in the world. King Narmer was able to establish control over the entire navigable length of the Nile and established the capital in Memphis, a city near modern-day Cairo. This first dynasty was the first of a series of dynasties that would go on to rule over Egypt for the next 3 millennia, until it was conquered by Alexander the Great in 332 BCE. Modern Egypt was founded in 1953 after the Egyptian Revolution of 1952. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for more updates and notifications.